Hey, 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 welcome, welcome. It's Dee Dee, and I'm back with Friday Reads Live. So, today is the day where we talk about what we're reading today, this weekend, and sometimes into the following week. So, let me know who's in the chat um, so that we can discuss. Wait, here's one right here. If you're watching, please feel free to come into the comment section and tell us what you're reading. You don't, if you don't want to, that's no problem. But it's always great to hear what everybody is reading these days, particularly since the days seem to be getting cooler. At least they are getting cooler here in France and Normandy, where I live, in the northwest of France. Wait, let's see who's in the chat. Hello, hello, hello. I'm a Lola Curly Q. Happy Friday. My cozy little library. Hey, happy Friday, Sharon. Um, the Bayan Alpha 4. You're gonna have to shorten that. You have to shorten that. Um, who else? Tracy, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. This is not me. This is I don't know. This is what they're doing. I don't know. I saw this. I was like, maybe it's just me. I don't know, but I don't know what's going on with that. Let me see if I can try to fix something, but I don't know what to do. Video quality sucks. Um, I'm not sure what's going on with that. Hmm. Let me see if I can do something here. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. I don't know, y'all. This is it. I don't know what's going on with that. No, it's not you. It's the quality. I don't know what's wrong with it. This is StreamYard is bugging me like this. And I ain't even talked about nothing controversial yet. Um, my cozy little library says reading for school and for fun, dopamine nation. Okay, very nice. Hello, Birdie. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Yolanda. Yolanda says hello. It's your first live. Well, welcome. Sadly, my video quality sucks here on StreamYard. I don't know what's going on. StreamYard is harassing me now. Um, so we just gonna have to bear with it. Um, but welcome. Let us know what you're reading. So you're reading Not That Bad. Oh, Not That Bad. That's a rough one to read. That is not for the faint of heart. Let's just put it that way. Hey Cher, how are you? Happy Friday. Cher is currently reading The Fox Wife by I don't know how to pronounce this. Yang Chu. Okay. Hello, pretty brown eyed Rita. Alicia, how are you? Happy Friday, girl. What you reading? Let's see. Teresa, happy Friday. Oh, Christine. Okay, that's good. I can do it, Christine. I was like, I'm never gonna get this name out. Christine. We're gonna do Christine then. But welcome, Christine. Let us know what you're reading. Uh, yeah, Tracy said, yeah, it's fuzzy. Yeah, girl, it's fuzzy. I don't know what's going on. Curly Q said, physical read, The Business Trip by Jesse Garcia, a local sports reporter. Okay, it's good listening to Watermelon. Okay, by Marion Keys. Yeah, no, Marion Keys. Enjoying that too. Okay, sounds good. Um, Curly Q says, IR, I guess it's IRS ambiance, setting the mood. Oh, girl, I don't know. Bertie said, I'm still slowly reading Anne of Green Gables, okay, as well as a book called Fairy Godmother. Okay, so you're into like the kind of fantasy kind of reading at the moment. And oh, your buddy reading a sci-fi fantasy with my other half called Dungeon Crawler. Ooh, Dungeon Crawler. That sounds serious. Uh, you well, you can hear me. That's good. But you can't see me that well. Um. Oh, thank you so much, Curly Q. This is just me trying to let my hair just do what it do and not have to worry about, two strand twisting every night and doing all this tugging and all this other mess. I can't do it right now. I just can't. I'm living for the fro for the moment. Hey Curtis, how are you? Happy Friday. What are you reading? Cher said it's like the soft skin filter that was so popular in the 1980s. I know, right? It does have that feel. It does. Um, yeah, Lola says the curly kid looks like an old movie. Tracy said, no worries as long as we can hear you. I know, right? At this point. I mean, I feel like social media has gotten so weird at the moment. Like, I have a feeling they listen to all of our conversations so much that they try to put little snags here and there and the other way. I mean, because I was listening to Tatiana yesterday and she was talking about an event that happened 2 days ago. And in the middle of her story, so the first story it rolled, the second story, she said like the first sentence and then it stopped like net and it would not go back. I kept having to go back and it basically censored her entire second story. I was like, what the hell is this? This is not cool. So I'm just kind of looking at, you know, social media with a side eye at the moment. Um, Sharon said, almost done reading Take My Hand. I know, right? That's an excellent book. 5 stars. Um, oh, Bertie says StreamYard's been a mess. Has it been? Because I mean, I was watching Virtue of Books. I don't know if you guys follow her. Virtue of Books. She's in the UK and her name is Dee Dee, just like me. And she does sprints, and I think she uses StreamYard, and her StreamYard is crisp. Now they're probably mad at me because I don't pay. They want me to pay. That's probably what it is. I haven't started paying yet. That's probably why they bugging me right now. Uh, Tracy says technology is crazy sometimes, all the time. Amalola said not controversial. Yes. Well, she didn't. I didn't think she said anything controversial. Everything she said to me sounded truth. But you know these spaces what they're doing right now. Curly Q said, "Welcome, welcome, Yolanda." Not controversial. Curly Q said, "Roxanne Gay ain't for the faint." Oof. No, she is not. You're correct about that. Learned that with an yeah, Untamed State. That was no joke either, for sure, for sure, for sure. I finally got to it, and I was like, yeah, this one ain't for the faint of heart. It really isn't. Um, hey Margaret, how are you? What are you reading? Tracy said, gotta get your mind right for yes, you gotta get your mind right for everything, Roxanne. Well, the only thing that Roxanne get you don't have to get your mind right is for the first one she wrote, which was um something feminist. I can't remember the name, but her first book. That one is fine. But all the other ones, yeah, nothing to play with. If you're like somebody who is very sensitive to things like rape and abuse and stuff like that, then yeah, you don't need to read that. Don't do it. Margaret said, finally back to some semblance of functioning in an apartment after putting in the new floor. Oh, you finally got your new floor on your shelves. Very nice. I guess we'll see that in your next video. Birdie said the Fox Wife was so good. Okay. Gave it 5 stars. Okay. When I read it last year. Okay, so you really like that one. Yolanda said that book has me in tears, but I felt it was necessary. Yeah, it is kind of necessary reading. I would agree with that. Christine said I'll be continuing Las Foras Las Forasteros del Tiempo. Okay, girl, my Spanish is not good. Okay, my French is great. My Italian, I'm working on it, but Spanish, it ain't that. I mean, I'm trying. Let me see if I can make a better effort. Los Forasteros del Tiempo. I don't know. That probably sounds a little bit too French, but anyway. Okay. Is it good? Margaret said StreamYard is a mess. Birdie, Birdie and Books and Alicia. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if it's a mess or they just want me to pay. I don't know. It's one or the other one. I don't want to pay because like no, I don't want to pay. My cozy little library said also started A Princess in Theory, and I'm enjoying it so far. Okay, I don't know that one. Alicia said plan to start Misbehaving at the Crosswords by Honore Fan and Jeffers this weekend. Yeah, I've heard nothing but excellent things about that one, so I'm sure you'll let us know how you feel about it. Margaret said and agree on the Fox Wife. Okay, so you like that one as well. Curly Q said Marion Keyes has written messed up characters down to a science. She has good family dramas. Yeah, that's what I hear. I've not read her, but isn't Marion Keyes? Isn't she Irish? Correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, okay. Curly Q said the Fox Wife. Okay. Cher said to Bertie, glad to hear it. Hey, Latrice, how are you? Welcome. Happy Friday. What are you reading? Billy said, Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday, Rosa. How are you? Curtis said, I'm still reading The Known World. I'm not surprised because it's pretty dense. It's a good book, but it's very dense. Um, and Magic, The Life of Irvin Magic Johnson by Roland Lazenby. We'll start reading Hold My Girl by Charlene Carr this weekend. Okay, very nice. Rosa said Tati's stories was censored for me yesterday. I know, right? I was like, how dare you censor Tati? I couldn't get through a whole story. Midway through, it would stop and not restart. That's exactly what happened to me. They out here bugging with us. And she didn't say nothing that was a lie, okay? The second story that was censored, like it was censored right after the first line that she said, boom, they censored it there. But what she said was not a lie. Okay, so Teresa says that to Alicia, Crossroads was really good. Enjoy. Bertie said that's the thing is they want you to upgrade to the paid now that they're charging more for the people that are paying. Ah, crap. Like, oh, I mean, do I have to pay another fucking service to do this stuff? I mean, man, man. Okay, I might have to look into that. Yolanda said the truth is controversial. Girl, I say that the truth will set you free. Okay, the truth will set you free. Mm. Happy Friday, Anna. How are you? What are you reading? Ann Gibson said, Good afternoon. Alicia misbehaving at the crossroads is very good. It was interesting that Honore withdrew from the National Book Festival, saying she didn't feel safe in Washington, D.C. Okay, now I've heard various reasons why Honore pulled out. I'm not sure which one is true, but I know one of them is true. I just don't know which one is. Um, Alicia said to Teresa, good to know that about Crossroads. Amalola said, reading Someone Birthed Them Broken by Arna Diaka. Okay, it's short stories. Are those short stories linked or are they just separate short stories? City of Night Birds. Never heard of that one by Juhia Kim. It's a Russian ballerina story. Ooh, I love those. And African Stories, Everyman short story collection, edited by Ben Okri. Oh, that's a good list, Amalola. I want to hear all about that Russian ballerina story. I might have to write that down. City of Night Birds. Wait, let me write that down real quick. Uh, City of Night Birds. Okay. Bad Feminist. That's it. I couldn't think what was before it. Yeah. Bad Feminist. If you want to read that, that's fine. You don't have to get your mind right. Everything else she's written, you gotta get your mind right. Okay, because it's just like, Margaret said, "Oof, I feel that as a former DC resident." To Ann Gibson, bummer, but safety first. Tracy says to Curtis, The Known World by Edward P. Jones is fantastic. Yeah, it is. Dense, but fantastic. Alicia said to Ann Gibson, I understand Honore's decision. People are crazy, and going into a city that is occupied by military is not something most of us want. Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree with that. Hello, Courtney. How are you? Happy Friday. What are you reading? Yolanda said, I just finished reading Isaac's Song, okay, before this book, and I loved it. Yes, okay, Curly Q, thank you for confirming that she was Irish. I wasn't sure, but I thought she was. Um, my cozy little library says A Princess in Theory is an Alyssa Cole. Yeah, I thought so. I thought I recognized the title. I have not read an Alyssa Cole yet, so I mean, I got to figure out when to read it eventually. Margaret said camera may be fuzzy, but it's not jump cutting, so I'd call that a win. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know they bugging me because I ain't paying, but that's okay. Um, Forgetting connections and connecting to chat. Oh well, free is as free does. I know, right? Latrice said working hard today before my 2 week. All right, now with your 2 week vacation. Come on, Latrice, where you going, girl? I know you're going somewhere. Um, Courtney said how your Friday is how Friday is good, good. Yeah, Friday is great. Friday's always great. Wonderful Friday. Bernie said there was a book festival a couple towns over from me this weekend, and I'm going to meet my good friend from college because she just moved down here for work, and we're going to catch up a little bit. Oh, that's nice. Latrice said, I'm just finishing up Run, the graphic novel by John Lewis. Oh, yeah, okay. And not sure what I will pick up next. Okay, well, that sounds good. That sounds like it was probably good. Rosa said, I'm reading Merchants of Doubt, how a handful of scientists obscured the truth on issues from tobacco smoke to climate change by Naomi Orskes and Eric M. Conway. It's really good. I'm halfway done. Okay, yeah, that sounds very interesting. Anne says to Alicia, after you read Misbehaving, it will be even clearer why she didn't feel safe. All right, that's interesting right there. Margaret said, is this a person's IG stories who is oh yeah, Tatiana, musical Tati. Yeah. You know, you I don't yeah, you know musical Tati. She had done her stories and she was talking about an event that happened a couple of days ago, and they decided to block what she was saying. So that's that. That's where we're living now with IG and Facebook, and even YouTube does it as well sometimes, just blocks with people, what people are saying. So I think you might have a little bit more leeway on YouTube, but not on IG and Facebook. Um Curtis said to Yolanda, I'm going to read Isaac's Song for my book club in November. Daniel Black is fantastic. Yeah, he really is. He really is fantastic. When he came to the Read So Lit book club, we had such a great discussion. He is, he's wonderful. Let's see. Let's see. Bertie said the John Lewis graphic novels are fantastic. They should be required reading in schools. Yeah, they should be. Rosa said, not sure what fiction I'll pick up next, but I'm liking this nonfiction run. Okay, good. Tracy said, I'm reading My Monticello and Down the River Unto the Sea by Mosley and making my way through Survival is a Promise. Okay, now, Tracy, I want to ask you, My Monticello, are the short stories in My Monticello linked or not? Come back with something on that because I'm trying to find a short story collection that's linked that I own. I own My Monticello, but I'm not sure if they're really linked. Let's see. Margaret said, I have John Lewis's bio Walking with the Wind as a buddy read this month to start. I've heard that one is good. Cher said, no reason to pay. We can hear and see you. Okay. It's just a whimsical flair. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Thank you, girl. Uh, Latrice said, Rosa, have you read Imani Perry's newest? It's so good. Yolanda says to Curtis, yes, he is. And it got cut off. Okay. Tracy said, Survival is a Promise, the Eternal Life of Audre Lorde. Okay, by Professor Alexis Pauline Gums. Okay. Amalola said, I need to put Isaac's song on my 10 before the end of 2020. Oh, you're doing 10 before the end? Okay. Curly Q said, is there a special name for the way the edges of pages of books are being decorated? They call them sprayed edges. Yeah. Yeah. Sprayed edges. Yeah. Yolanda said to Curtis, he is. I have already read Don't Cry for Me and Perfect Peace. The Coming is next on my list. Perfect Peace was really good. Margaret said, so many great titles flying around this morning. Love the positive vibes for Friday. Always positive vibes here. Let's see. Courtney said, Perfect Peace was really good. Yeah, it was. That is a perfect book. Perfection. Rosa said, no, Latrice, but Imani Perry might be next. Good idea. Thanks. Cher said to Curly Q, I hear people calling it sprayed edges. Yeah, same. Margaret said, I've enjoyed Alyssa Cole's, I guess it's history fiction. Want to try one of the modern romances eventually. Okay. Amalola said, Amadiaka's stories aren't linked just yet. Oh, okay. All right. So that's a no. Teresa said to Honore was referring to the occupation of DC due to the National Guard's protests, etc. I live near DC and I don't have any desire to go into the city either. I stayed home for the same reason. Okay. Amalola said, take me with you, Latrice. I need a vacation. Girl, you just came off a vacation. You was in the UK for what? A whole what? 10 days or something? You was already on vacation. Um, Yolanda said, next on my list is The Handmaid's Tale. That's a good one because my local library had it. What? No, come on now. They can't remove The Handmaid's Tale from the library. Lord Jesus. Oh my God. My cozy little library said, I haven't read any Marion Keys yet, but I've enjoyed watching her videos. She has a great sense of humor. Yeah, that's what I hear. I've not read any of her books, but that's what I hear. Sharon said, excited for next week's essay. Cosby is coming to Denver. Can't wait. Well, enjoy. He's a very nice man. Sharon said, I'd stay home in DC too. I saw where they are even letting pedophile felons into the nice restaurants. Mm. Margaret said, no, musical Tati is new to me. IG is private, but I'll follow on YouTube. Thank you. Okay, cool. Amalola said, who will bring S.A. Cosby to Dallas? Now, girl, you should go and ask your local bookstores to bring him. That's what you do. You say, hey, do you got have you guys got any plans to bring S.A. Cosby for what's his book? King of Ashes. That's how you get them to come is you go to the bookstores who bring authors and you ask them to bring him. And you might be surprised. They might actually follow you on that. Yolanda says to Tangible Reads, I loved Perfect Peace. The mom was so messed up. Talk about needing some therapy. The whole family needed therapy. Um, Margaret said, "Oh, looks like her YouTube has been updated. Has yo, yeah, because she hasn't decided to come back to YouTube just yet. She's trying. I think she might in 2026. She might come back. Let's see. So Amalola said she's jealous of Sharon because she's gonna see S.A. Cosby. Oh, damn. Latrice said they are not linked. Damn. Well, can somebody in here suggest a short story collection where the short stories are linked? Please. Um, let's see. Amalola says to Yolanda, Perfect Peace is so, so good. Courtney said facts to Amalola. The trains was real. Amalola said, I think about that book often. My Monticello. Okay. Oh, they are linked? My Monticello, the stories are linked? Okay. Well, what were you talking about, Latrice? What's not linked? Were you talking about my Monticello? Because now I got two opinions on that one. My cozy little artist has agreed that haze just makes it look like a fun Dee Dee dream. Oh, so sweet. Sharon said to Amalola, girl, it's a first. No one comes here. Oh, damn. Curlicue said, saw one for a book that looked like the pages were burning. Oh, that's cool. Trying to find out the name of it. The synopsis looked like a good one. I'm going back to buy it. Yeah, I love the sprayed edges. If they did more sprayed edges, they would sell more books, I think, because people really like sprayed edges. Let's see. Latrice said, if you like nonfiction, the new Imani Perry is so good. I recommend it to everyone. What's the title of the new Imani Perry? Because I can't remember right now. It's the one of the most interesting books I've ever read. Okay. Yolanda said to Amalola, yes, that book had me on the edge of my seat. Black and Blues, that's it. Thank you, Tracy. Black and Blues by Monty Perry is amazing. Curlicue said everyone always needs a vacation, especially after a vacation. Okay, all right, girl. I see you. All right, I see you. Margaret said to Latrice, is that the yeah, Black and Blues? Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, Teresa said, I didn't think the stories of my Monticello were linked. Maybe I forgot. Look, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to tell me. Curtis said to Yolanda, I read The Coming last year and it was great. That book is a fictional story about our ancestors during slavery. I will be reading Perfect Peace next year. Oh, you're going to love Perfect Peace. My goodness, that's a good book. Curlicue said, banned books, damn it. Yeah, I know. Latrice said, thanks, Tracy, for the title because I keep saying it in reverse. Um, Latrice said, that's the one to Margaret. Margaret said to Tracy, got it, thank you. Amalola said to Curlicue, especially since the temperature in the dumpster fire went up a few notches. Mm. Cher said nothing makes a book more enticing to read than to see it go on a banned list. I know it makes people really want to read it then. Curlicue said Grown Ups by Marion Keyes is over 500 pages. Just the way I cracked up. I loved every page. Okay, I have heard people say Grown Ups is good. Tracy said My Monticello is a combination of a few short stories and a novella entitled My Monticello. Okay, so that's not what I want to know. I just wanted to know if the short stories were linked. And I think they're not, from what I'm hearing you say. Anna said, I've been thinking of reading Untamed State. Girl, you better get your mind right. Because if you don't have it right, you don't need to be reading that. I'm just saying. Hello, DL. How are you? Happy Friday. Okay, Anna said started reading. Started reading what? An Untamed State? Curly Q said he's come twice to your city. I think you're talking about S.A. Cosby. No, you might be talking about Daniel Black. I'm not sure which one. Amalo said Pleasant View by Celeste Muhammad is, yeah, I know, but I already read that. I read that when it came out. And we interviewed her as well. Anna said The Elegance of the Hedgehog by Muriel Barbery. Yeah, we're reading that together. And Juneteenth. Okay, very nice. Let's see. Latrice said, I didn't think they were linked. Are they? Girl, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to tell me. Is this shit linked or not? Because I don't know. I don't know. The Night of the Living Rev are linked. The Night of the Living Rev. I don't have that. And that don't sound like nothing I would read. Yolanda said, Curtis, I'm a little nervous about reading The Coming. I read the yellow. You read Yellow Wife, and it brought up all kinds of emotions. Yeah, of course it did. Yellow Wife was great, but it's emotional. Teresa said, when you say linked, you mean the characters are featured in more. No, what I mean is they're linked, meaning it could be the characters are the same. It could also mean that it's, like it could be like a story about different friends or different families members, and it's linked that way. That's what usually when it's linked, it's written on the cover of the book. um a novel in stories is what's written underneath the title normally now. But if you have an older short story collection, it was probably just written short stories. But now that's what they write, a novel in stories, and that just tells you that it's linked. So that's why I was asking, because my Monticello came out what, 4 years ago? Three? No, yeah, maybe 4 years ago. I don't remember if it's linked or not. I just don't remember. Okay, Latrice said it's been a while. All I remember is the first story is so good and it falls off drastically after that. Oh dear. Okay, well, but anyway, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not going to be the one I would choose because I need something with linked short stories. Curly Q said, I agree. My friend bought three books just based on how beautiful the sprayed edges were. Oh my God. Margaret said, old enough to remember when sprayed edges was just a tell that it was a mass market from the 80s. Oh, wow. Okay. Teresa said, same opinion, Latrice. I just told Tracy that last night. Courtney said, it's been a while for me reading MM, so ignore me. My Monticello. Tracy said, the stories of my Monticello seem to be thematically linked. No, that's not what we need. But with different characters. No, that ain't linked. Okay, so Amalona said to Anna, how is elegance, l'élégance du hérisson? I have it, but it's been sitting on shelf for a minute. Tracy said they aren't linked. Yeah, no. Curtis said to Yolanda, don't be nervous about reading The Coming. I thought it was fantastic. His storytelling about our ancestors will make you appreciate their wisdom and their courage so we can exist. Yeah, that sounds like Daniel Black. Curly Key said, I fear anyone who had their mind right. Yeah, girl. An untamed state, that's like testing it. Tracy said there is just a common theme throughout, but not linked. Okay, Curly Q said S.A. Cosby has come twice, and it makes me go to that bookstore to support them. Very nice. Hello, a book doctor. Shay's in the house. What you reading, girl? How you been? And how was your Friday? Let's see. Anne said, reading Baldwin, a love story by Nicholas Boggs. Very good. It is the first biography in 30 years. Yeah. Okay. Curlicue said, I feel like the link convo is who's on first and what's on second. The Coming is Daniel Black. Dr. Daniel Black wrote The Coming. Amalola said, For Such a Time as This by Shani Akila. Link Stories, British Youth 20s. Ooh, wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. Let me get that down. Shani Akila. Okay. Because another one where the because I could think of another one, but I've already read it. Let's see. Curtis said to share Daniel Black. Okay. Yolanda said I was in a group discussion about the book Perfect Peace, and everyone had issues with the mom only. No, everybody had issues in that family around their the way they reacted to Perfect. They they all had their issues. It's just that the mother had probably we would say she had a bigger role in issue because she's the one that birthed Perfect. But they all had issues. Let's see. Um, okay, Latrice said, I'm assuming you're asking about linked short stories for myself. Yes. How did you know? You use Dream Count. It is Dream, but Dream Count isn't a short story collection. It's a novel. You couldn't be bothered trying. Girl, come on now. I know I have a few. I have a few short story collections. I just need to. I need to just do my research. I need to plunge in there and do my research. Cher said, looks like I already have the coming available, so it needs to go higher up the TBR mountain. Yeah, it does. A wonderful because anything by Daniel Black is good. Tracy said, I'm sorry, Curtis, I sent my comment before I saw that you already answered. Amalola is laughing at Latrice because of the dream count comment. Rosa said, I have Hunger by Roxanne on my shelf just looking at me, but I know my mind is not right ready yet. Ready right. Well, now I feel like I feel like I feel like Hunger is maybe one of the ones that isn't as bad, but it does have one really bad thing in there. So yeah. 2021. So I was right, 4 years. Or did I say 3 years? I don't remember. Curlicue said, I saw Baldwin and was intimidated, but definitely want to read it piece by piece. Curtis said to Tracy, that's okay. Latrice says, laughing at Amalola, I am not in the mood for short stories, so I just used it. Ha let's see. Courtney said, I don't mind short stories, but I hate anthologies. Oh, I don't mind a good anthology. I'm not mad at a good anthology, but I don't want to read it all the time. But yeah, I don't mind a good anthology. Amalona said, Imogene set off the issues for the rest. Yolanda said, Curtis, I also have the book, They Tell Me of a Home. I bought that book along with the Coming. Haven't read it yet. Cher said to Curly Q, the only Baldwin I have read so far was Giovanni's Room, and I was not prepared for that emotional punch. Yeah, that's a really emotional one. Latrice said it reads like a short story collection though, so I just used it. Girl, stop, stop. Amalua said Dr. Daniel Black was shocked when he came to book club after we co-signed a particular scene. Imogene was so wrong for that. Yeah, she was. She was. Uh, Tracy said to Teresa, you sure did tell me that last night about my Monticello. And Curly Q said, oh no, Cher, I meant the biography. It's a thick one. Oh, okay. All right. All right. So let me tell you what I'm reading because I haven't done that yet. So first book I'm reading is this one, which is L'Elegance du Hérisson, which I'm reading with Anna. This is our French read for the month of September. Last month we read Une Gourmandise, which in English I think is called The Gourmet, and it was pretty good. Now, this one right here I'm reading, oh Jesus, I wanted to be finished before I got on here, but I still got 100 pages to read. And this is The God of the Woods, and I'm reading this for my book club here in Normandy. We're reading this. We're going to be discussing it tomorrow. And man, y'all will hear about it later. And I am buddy reading The Swans of Harlem with Patrice. And this has started off very, very good. I'm happy about reading this. This is nonfiction, wonderful read. And of course, I'm still reading through Josephine Baker, which is this graphic novel. So that's what I got on at the moment. So normally I'll be finished this tonight, or at worst comes to worst tomorrow morning. And I will be a quarter into this one this weekend. So yeah, so that's what I'm reading. I've got a little bit of a mix there. So I'm happy with that. Not happy with having to read The God of the Woods because I would have preferred to have to skip on that one because I'm yeah, no. Mm-mm. I had no plans on reading it, but then when I saw that it was on my book club list and I knew everybody was going to vote for it because it's a new book, and sure enough, they voted for it, and here I am reading The God of the Woods. Okay, so Amalota said her fave Baldwin is Go Tell It on the Mountain. No, definitely my fave is Another Country. That's definitely my fave. Cher said, I've got almost all of Baldwin's books, so happy to hear of people's favorite to give some direction for what to read next. I'd like to get them all eventually. Yeah. Well, I mean, I wish I had read more. I have not read enough of his fiction yet because I've read Giovanni's Room and I read Another Country twice. And I read If Beale Street Could Talk. The Fire Next Time, read that. And I think I read something else. I just can't remember what it is. Let's see. Teresa said, oh, you're reading Bluebird by Attica Locke. That one is good. The Best Man by Malcolm Lee, and finishing my her second read of Love Songs. You're rereading Love Songs. Wow. Okay. Cher said four of you giving Baldwin favorites, and it is four different ones. Sign of a versatile, highly talented. Yeah, that's definitely Baldwin. He really knew how to put it down. Now don't get me wrong. Another Country is my favorite, but I still there's aspects of each of the books that I've read by him that I enjoyed. So I would recommend any of the ones that I just said. They're all excellent. Um, let's see. Teresa said read all of Baldwin's novels, and her favorite is also Another Country. Another Country is he's saying a lot in Another Country. Um, Tracy said Another Country, If Beale Street Could Talk, Go Tell It on the Mountain, Fire Next Time are good ones to read next. Margaret said, gonna go do some book polls and book tags. Very nice. See you soon, Margaret. Thanks for dropping by. Um, yeah, all of those that Tracy just said, those are all great. They're all great. And if Bill Street Could Talk, the film I thought was beautifully filmed, done really well. That movie. So yeah, so that's what is going on. This month is turning out to be a weird reading month, but it be what it be. We're only day 12, but it's going really fast. So hopefully, once I get through the God of the Woods, my mind will open up, and then the rest of my books will just kind of flow into the reading. Because having to get my mind right to read the God of the Woods, because I don't really want to read it. It's taken me a long time to just finally break down and read the damn thing. And then while I was reading, it's like, oh my God, I could just fall into a reading slump after reading this book. So yeah, I'm not happy with having to read it, but I'm gonna have to forge on like mad tonight to finish these last 100 pages. Oh Jesus. Yeah. Tracy said yes, that was one movie that really did justice to the book. Yeah, it was beautifully done. Teresa said yes, I agree with you, Dee Dee. I wish we had written more novels because they are all amazing. But his nonfiction is good, and yeah, it is absolutely, absolutely. I mean, all his work is excellent. You can't go wrong with any of it. Let's see. Yolanda said this has been great. Thank you for having me. No, no problem. Come back next Friday. Happy reading and have a happy weekend. Rosa said, don't forget to push the like button. Thank you. I appreciate it. Teresa said to Tracy, love the movie as well. Teresa said, so happy I could join today. I am too. I was so surprised. I said, oh, my birthday buddy, my birthday book buddy is in here because I know Teresa be having to work and stuff. Um, so yeah, so that's been really cool. Um, I was trying to think. Oh yeah, for people that are interested in doing the Bleak House read along, we're basically going to be reading the whole month of October and the entire month of November. So we're going to be reading about 6 chapters a week. The 6 chapters a week is about anywhere from the 90 to 100 pages, 90 to 110 pages, depends on the chapters. Now, I've split the reading, the reading schedule up by chapters because everybody's going to have different, editions. And so I think it's, I don't know, 50 some odd chapters in Bleak House. So that's to give you an idea in case you're contemplating joining, you're not sure if you'll be able to do it. Yes, we're starting October 1st. So what we're going to do is October, the official, this is what we're going to do. I'm trying to make it so that people will come and join us. So it's officially going to be from October 1st to November 30th. But the live will take place the 7th of December, or the 6th of December, the Saturday after is when we're going to do the live. So that still gives people almost a whole week extra in case they get behind in the reading schedule. So we won't be doing the live on the 29th. No, you're going to read all the way to the 30th. And if you need extra time, you have all the way till Saturday the 6th. And Saturday the 6th is when we'll be doing the live. So that way, your dad's birthday is October 1st. Oh, he's a Libra too. All right, now, Libras unite. So if you're watching this and you're interested in joining us, it gives you an idea. You can still read other stuff We're reading 6 chapters a week. So if you're interested, put a thumbs up in the chat. Let me know if you think that schedule is okay, or if you think it's too heavy, or what. Let me know. Because I think it's the only way that I could see to split it up where we could, still be reading for 2 months and not have it be too hectic. Oh my God, your son's on the 23rd. He's a little Virgo. Oh, almost made it to the Libra. Very cool, very cool. So that is all that I could think of for today. Amalola's like, yeah, I'm down. Okay, cool. Amalola, you haven't already read Bleak House? I thought you had already maybe read it, or maybe you want to reread it. Maybe that's what it is. Um, yeah, I think it'll be fun. Yeah, Virgos. Oh, September 16th, baby. Oh, it's very soon. Right when you're about to be on holiday. I thought the first day of Libra was the 24th. Oh, okay. Maybe it's the 23rd. Okay. All right. All right. Um, yeah. So that's about it. Unless you guys have other questions or commentary. I think I might my some of my next videos I'm gonna be doing are my wrap up for August, book haul, and I'm gonna do good big books to read. I'm gonna do a big books video as well. So those are some videos that I'm thinking about doing next. Wait, let's see. I lost track. Okay, Amala said I was a child reading Bleak House. I understood nothing. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised because the language is pretty highfalutin for a child. Yeah, so it'll be great to read. All of us reading it together. Um, let's see. Oh, that's what I want to ask as well. Since we're going to be reading over 2 months, do you guys want to just save all of the conversation for the end, or do you want us to do end of October discussion on the first half of the book, or do you prefer to wait for the end to do it all? Let's see. Oh, no problem, Tracy. You're very welcome. Okay, Miss Teresa said she's gonna try Bleak House, but also am worried because she's in too many book clubs. Well, that shouldn't stop you, Miss Teresa. It's gonna be fun. Cher said we are promised controversial when you tease with the yet. uh Courtney said, I'm gonna finally get out of bed. Oh my God. Courtney, get out of bed. Thanks so much for coming by, Courtney. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, I mean, for people that are doing, well, I mean, it's the same for people that are reading different, 3 books at the same time or something. If you're gonna do this long read with us, you're gonna have to put down one day in the week where you're going to read or 2 days in the week where you're going to read your Bleak House pages. So, what you can do to make it doable, I like to read in a chunk because if it's only like 100 pages, I sit down and read those 100 pages and move on. Okay. Now, if you're not that person and you prefer to have it broken down in increments, you can break it down. Let's say you break it down into 2 increments. Let's say you have 100 pages, so you read 50 at the beginning of the week and 50 towards the end of the week, and you're done. Um, And that's the way to be able to finish the 6 pages. So you can still finish those 100 pages, but at the same time you could be reading something else as well. So it's up to everybody to do the way to do what they feel that works for them. We'll be reading it over 2 months, so it's already broken down. It's just that it's broken down into 6 chapters a week. So some people might want to just read a chapter a day. I mean, if you want to do it like that, and do it like that. It's up to you. Teresa said, I'm not in any book clubs, but keep thinking about joining one maybe. Why not? Why not? Come join the Read So Lit Book Club. We have a lot of fun. Yolanda said, so we are reading yes, we're reading Bleak House. I put up one reel a couple of days ago. I'm gonna put a reel probably this weekend for the reading schedule. It'll probably go up on Sunday because Saturday I'm working in the morning and I'm at my book club in the afternoon. So I will probably put the reading schedule up either Saturday night late or Saturday night late for here, or Sunday. You're going to get the reading schedule. Now you can get whatever with whichever edition you want, because I've split it up by chapters. So that should make it easier for people if they want to join. So think about it. You still got time. It's going to be over 2 months, and that's always asking. Do people want to have a mid discussion at the end of October, or do you just want to have one big discussion at the end? Because we could do like a mid discussion at the end of October and a full discussion at the end. Oh, sorry, at the beginning of December. So I'm not sure. Oh, if you don't want to pay, then yeah, yeah, it's a Patreon paywall. Um, so yeah, so if you have any thoughts on that, whether you prefer, like I said, whether you prefer to do two discussions or one, let me know. You can always drop me a line on my IG, and let me, or on my Storygraph. I'm gonna probably put something over on Storygraph as well, in case there's some people that just want to, write commentaries in instead, so that you'll be able to do that. So yeah, that's that's the plan. So that's it. I'm all out. I don't have anything else to say. I'm gonna go and read my God of the Woods before I can't read it anymore. Um, would not recommend. I would not recommend God of the Woods. That's all I gotta say. All right, y'all. That's it. Happy Friday. I will see you next Friday. Um, I don't know. We'll be talking about something next Friday. I have a couple ideas for next Friday. So I will see you then. Have a wonderful Friday, end of your Friday, and a wonderful weekend. And I will see you the following Friday. Bye bye.